If you drive and hear something unusual under the hood, you're not just hearing noise, you're hearing money burning. In this video, we'll go through 5 specific sounds that signal a serious, costly problem long before it breaks. Avoiding them could mean the difference between a quick fix and an engine replacement. Sound number 3 alone is responsible for countless transmission failures. Number 1, metallic knocking. When your engine starts knocking, that rhythm is your wallet echoing back at you. Metallic knocking is not harmless background noise. It's a warning that deep inside your engine, metal components are colliding instead of gliding smoothly. Each strike is a sign that critical spacing between moving parts is disappearing. Drivers often chalk it up to vibration or something loose under the hood, but what's actually happening is far more serious. Those sounds are created when crankshaft bearings or connecting rods begin to fail. Once they start clattering, damage spreads fast. This usually happens because the engine is starving for oil. When oil levels drop too low, bearings aren't cushioned properly, and metal-on-metal contact starts. That repetitive knock you hear at idle may double in strength as you accelerate. Piston rings can also contribute if they're worn, letting combustion gases slip through and unbalancing the engine's rhythm. Every moment the car runs this way, friction increases, temperature rises, and metal surfaces deform microscopically with each hit. One driver in California learned this the hard way. He ignored a mild knock for a few weeks, convinced it was just rough fuel. The day it gave out, the engine seized completely on the highway. The repair estimate was $6,800 for a replacement block, new bearings, and labor. A quick oil pressure test or basic inspection, which cost less than $100, could have caught the issue before irreversible wear set in. So when that metallic beat begins, treat it like a countdown. The next time your engine starts its own rhythm section, don't wait for it to hit the finale. Knocking isn't just noise. It's a signal of metal grinding toward a full engine seizure. And not every costly sound comes from deep inside. Some start right under the hood. Number 2, high-pitched squealing. That fleeting squeal when you start your car isn't harmless. It's your belt asking for help. A high-pitched squeal almost always comes from a slipping serpentine or accessory belt. Over time, these belts lose tension, glaze over, or collect moisture on their surfaces, which makes them slide instead of grip. When that happens, the pulleys that drive your power steering, alternator, and air conditioning compressor all fight to turn in sync, and the resulting friction produces that sharp squeal you hear at ignition or acceleration. Many drivers wave it off, claiming it's just the cold or a little morning dew, but that sound is actually the rubber beginning to break down. Every squeal is the belt slipping under stress, generating heat that accelerates wear even further. In most modern vehicles, one single serpentine belt powers multiple components. When it weakens, the chain reaction can be dramatic. A failing belt can cause heavy steering as the power steering pump stalls, drain the battery as the alternator struggles, and kill the air conditioning entirely when the compressor stops spinning. Squealing can also come from worn brake pads. If the sound happens only when braking, it likely means the pads have thinned to their wear indicators. Leave it too long, and those pads grind directly on the rotors, turning a small maintenance job into a full brake system rebuild. Replacing a belt early costs around $150 to $300, depending on the vehicle and labor. Let it snap in motion though, and it can destroy surrounding pulleys or accessory mounts, pushing the bill beyond $1,000. That quick squeal is your early warning system. Rubber losing traction before mechanical failure sets in. And once friction gets out of control, the sounds that follow come from unprotected metal instead of worn rubber. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 3, grinding or growling while driving. That low growl when you shift isn't your car aging. It's metal crying for mercy. Grinding or growling noises while driving are among the most distressing sounds a vehicle can make because they almost always point to failure inside the gearbox or drivetrain. Unlike squeals or clicks, grinding means friction is no longer under control. When gears or bearings lose their protective fluid layer, they start to rub directly against each other, creating a harsh, resonant growl that deepens with acceleration or turning. The root cause often comes down to transmission fluid. When it's low, burnt, or contaminated, internal gears stop gliding smoothly and begin shaving away fragments of metal with every shift. Those microscopic shavings circulate through the system, slowly turning lubricant into abrasive sludge that destroys even more components. Sometimes the problem isn't inside the transmission at all. It can come from worn wheel bearings humming continuously as they rotate, or from clutch plates grinding when the clutch no longer fully disengages. Detecting the exact source early makes the difference between a minor fluid service and a total mechanical teardown. Unfortunately, many drivers overlook the sound, assuming it's normal road vibration or simply the character of an older vehicle. That misconception can be expensive. A fresh transmission fluid service costs about $80. Let the grinding continue, and heat, wear, and metal fragments multiply until the repair estimate hits $3,500 or more for a full replacement. Every mile adds more damage, each shift erasing the smooth surface that keeps the gears alive. Grinding isn't something to tolerate. It's the audible sign that your drivetrain is breaking down piece by piece. And when that kind of strain builds unchecked, the next sound might come from a much louder, more explosive problem. Number 4. Loud backfiring or popping from the exhaust. A sudden pop from the exhaust may sound tough, but your car is actually misfiring money out the tailpipe. When you hear a loud backfire or constant popping from the exhaust, it means unburned fuel is detonating where it shouldn't, inside the exhaust system instead of the combustion chamber. Each pop is a mini explosion of wasted fuel that escaped ignition, a clear signal the combustion process is failing. That failure usually begins with poor combustion. Worn spark plugs, damaged ignition wires, or incorrect engine timing can cause the air-fuel mixture to ignite late or not at all. Sometimes, the mixture is simply too rich, leaving excess fuel that doesn't fully burn before being pushed into the exhaust. Once inside, the heat from the exhaust manifold ignites the leftover fuel with a loud, reactive burst. Many people confuse this with a sporty exhaust flare, especially on performance or modified vehicles. But what's really happening is a breakdown in ignition efficiency. The hidden cost goes far beyond noise. Continuous detonation in the exhaust damages components over time. The catalytic converter, designed to process steady exhaust gases, not bursts of flame, can melt internally from repeated misfires. Valves at the engine head may overheat or crack, and sustained backfiring can even push engine temperature high enough to cause internal stress fractures. Fixing the root cause early is far cheaper. Replacing spark plugs or correcting a misfire usually costs between $200 and $400. Ignore it, and a new catalytic converter alone can exceed $2,000. Each pop you hear is unburned gasoline turning into repair debt. Respond quickly, and you stop the chain reaction before it burns through your wallet. Next comes a quieter warning, a subtle ticking that seems harmless but signals the start of serious internal wear. Number 5. The $5,000 lubrication warning. A soft tapping under the hood may sound harmless until you realize it's your oil system crying out for attention. When that rhythmic clicking rises and falls with engine speed, it usually points to a lack of proper lubrication reaching the valve train. This part of the engine relies on a thin, pressurized layer of oil to keep lifters, rocker arms, and camshaft lobes separated. When that layer breaks down, components strike each other ever so slightly, creating the distinct tap that syncs perfectly with your RPMs. It's one of the easiest sounds to dismiss. Early on, it's quiet, a background tick that seems normal, especially on older engines. But beneath the hood, the situation is escalating. Oil starvation increases friction, causing tiny metal surfaces to grind and wear faster. Lifters start sticking, cam lobes flatten, and rocker arms develop excess play. The more these parts enlarge their tolerances through wear, the louder and sharper the tapping becomes. What began as a faint click can soon turn into a continuous mechanical chatter. The fix in most cases starts simple. Pull the dipstick. If the oil level is low, top it up immediately. If it's dark or gritty, an oil and filter change, often costing under $50, can restore lubrication and quiet the noise. But if low oil pressure or a clogged oil passage is the root cause, ignoring it can snowball into complete valve train damage and an engine overhaul reaching $5,000. That rhythmic clicking is not just random vibration, it's precision components crying out from friction and heat. Tapping is the whisper before collapse, a sound that rewards quick attention and punishes delay with overwhelming repair costs. Every unusual car sound carries a price tag. Ignoring them turns manageable repairs into major engine bills that can climb into thousands. A quick diagnostic check costs less than most weekend expenses, Yet postponing it risks destroying components that once only needed minor attention. Treat early diagnosis like the cheapest insurance policy your car will ever have. It protects everything you rely on to drive safely every day. Your vehicle already tells you what's wrong through the sounds it makes. If you listen early, you save cash later. If your car talks, it's cheaper to listen.